Even if President Trump doesn't concede ever, for that matter, President-elect Joe Biden will still be sworn in come January 20.
Fox 17's Ryan Cummings live tonight to explain why. Ryan?
Well, guys, it's because there is nothing in the U.S. Constitution that says that a president who is losing has to concede the race in order for the next president to take over. Now, this has been a tradition for years, decades, possibly longer. But even if it's not followed this time, Mr. Biden and his wife will be headed to D.C. in the next couple of months.
The president's term ends at noon on January 20th. Written into the Constitution.
Retired Brigadier General Michael McDaniel is the Associate Dean at the Cooley Law School. He's talking about the 20th Amendment in the U.S. Constitution.
There is not a role for the president in the transition, and that's by design.
Several top officials have already stepped down after President Trump fired Defense Secretary Mark Esper. And now with the smooth transition being delayed, that could affect national security and the Biden administration.
That is a concern. The United States is at sort of a weak point. We're somewhat vulnerable when we are in that transition period, especially if everybody's sort of looking for guidance and not getting any from the White House. And then when you add to that this diminution in authority, a diminution in leadership, at least at the Pentagon, and that makes our adversaries a little bit more bold.
Like we saw on September 11th. In the 585-page 9/11 Commission report, it was determined that the dispute over the 2000 election and the 36-day delay cut the normal transition time in half, and the loss of time hampered the new administration in identifying, recruiting, clearing, and obtaining Senate confirmation of key appointees.
Participative democracy, the act of voting, is the most important thing that we have. It worked, folks. It showed what the majority of the people believed, even factoring in the fact we go through an electoral college.
There's also a timeline set by the Electoral Count Act of 1887, which is still in play today. December 8th is known as the safe harbor date. States have to have their votes counted by then, settle any disputes, and determine who won their electoral votes. They're then presumptively constitutional, McDaniel says, and cannot be challenged after that. Those votes are then cast on December 14th, and they have 9 days to get to Washington, D.C. They're officially counted on January 6th, with Inauguration Day 2 weeks later. President Trump may choose not to go to the ceremony. McDaniel says there's only been 3 one-term presidents in history who made that decision after losing re-election.
It was John Quincy Adams, and then Andrew Johnson. But certainly it was on political grounds more than personal reasons. And it didn't really do that sitting president who had been defeated. It did not help their place in history at all.
Now, in terms of those electors, most of them do vote according to their state's popular vote for president. Now, here in Michigan, as well as several states, it is the law. According to the National Conference of State Legislatures, if a candidate fails to vote as required in Michigan, they are considered to have resigned and a replacement is appointed. Live in Grand Rapids, Ryan Cummings, Fox 17 News.